Perfect. Well, welcome. Hello, everyone. Welcome to what is now the 19th stop along the Engineering and Public Works Roadshow. We have been flying through these roadshow events, quite a few. Just in the past month, we've done 4. So a lot of great infrastructure work happening around the country that we are happy to showcase. And now this is our 19th stop. So thank you all for having us on, I would say, what is a beautiful day. It's a bit gloomy, but when you're inside here, it looks very nice. There's a great aesthetic in here. Absolutely beautiful structure. So we're really happy to be here to share it with everyone today. My name is Kevin Longley. I'm the Director of Media Relations and Public Affairs with the American Society of Civil Engineers, otherwise known as ASCE, which makes up one of the 3 founding partners of the Engineering and Public Works Roadshow series. I'd like to thank you all for being here today to share and like to share my appreciation to San Jacinto College for hosting us at this beautiful Anderson Ball classroom building, which will touch on the specifics of what makes this building so special besides the beautiful background and aesthetic here. There's a lot that really went into this building to make it very unique and worthy of one of our roadshow stops. So we've got several speakers here today that can shed more light on that. But in the meantime, I want to share a bit more about the origins of the roadshow, how this came to be, why we're doing these projects, and why it's important. So the Engineering and Public Works Roadshow is a one-of-a-kind joint effort between the American Council of Engineering Companies, otherwise known as ACEC, the American Public Works Association, or APWA, and the American Society of Civil Engineers, or ASCE. The series highlights the important role engineers and public works professionals serve in making communities safe, economically efficient, and enjoyable to live in. ACEC, APWA, and ASCE kicked off the Roadshow series in the summer of 2022 and began traveling around the nation to showcase examples of engineering and public works excellence, projects that had made significant positive impacts on the communities that they serve. We kicked it off there at the Port of Long Beach in California and have not stopped running all over the country, from West Coast to East Coast to down here in Texas. This is our 3rd Texas event, so you all are cleaning up down here. Incredible examples of engineering and public works exist all around us, yet most people tend to focus on our built environment when there's an interruption of some of these services. We believe that positive stories needed a bit more time in the limelight, right? When we've got 620,000 bridges around the country and 619,999 are working on a given day, you typically hear about the one that has an issue. And so there's so much great infrastructure at work at all times, and we feel like it really needs its time in the limelight. And that's part of what the Roadshow is able to accomplish. However, this series has a second major motive, and that is to inspire younger audiences to take part in this profession. I see we have a few students here today, and it's great to have you. We appreciate you being here. Really, there are so many projects like this that could be accomplished around the country, and we'll touch more on this from our speakers shortly, but we do lack the necessary workforce in order to do as many of them as we possibly could. And so, with that shortage of engineers and public works officials, it threatens our ability to meet societal demands as well as create inspiring pieces of architecture like this. The 2021 Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, or the IIJA, has created more than 60,000 projects across the country. And many more are possible if we have a workforce that's equipped to rise to the occasion. We hope the Roadshow can demonstrate the benefits of a career in engineering and public works, professions that engage your creative side. No one project is the same. They foster teamwork. You're not working in silos. You get to work with a dedicated group of professionals, and one that truly makes a difference. Today, we're proud to recognize the 19th stop along the Roadshow, the Anderson Ball Classroom Building here at San Jacinto College, for its commitment to fostering sustainable building practices and materials, setting an example for future buildings and infrastructure or public works projects to follow. And when sustainability is a key priority, all communities benefit, and project owners see greater return on their investments. It's really a win-win in that regard. So to kick things off, we'll hear from representatives from ASCE, ACEC, and APWA. And so we'll kick things off starting with Adam Eaton of ASCE's Texas section, who will be followed by Monica Silver of ACEC Texas, and finally Christina Ramirez with APWA Region 7. So Adam, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you, Kevin. And a big thank you to ACEC, APWA, and the team here at San Jacinto College for showcasing the Anderson Ball Classroom Building and welcoming us here today. As Kevin said, my name is Adam Eaton, and I serve on the ASCE Texas Section's Board of Directors. As others will surely note throughout this program, a major educational facility made entirely out of mass timber is no small feat, and is fittingly emblematic of the lesson we're trying to teach future generations. And that lesson is that it is our duty as engineers and public works professionals to seek out better solutions to society's problems and to do so with future impacts in mind. We must view the built environment as living structures that need continuous care over their entire life cycles and that they directly impact the world around them for decades. In 2023, ASCE developed a first-of-its-kind performance-based consensus standard for sustainable infrastructure, known as ASCE 73. The standard was put in place to advocate for projects specifically like the Anderson Ball Classroom Building. The standard focuses on reducing embodied carbon, which refers to the greenhouse gas emissions stemming from the entire process of constructing, operating, and maintaining an infrastructure project, including the materials needed for construction. The team at Walter P. Moore and San Jacinto College have provided a structure that does just that, and we are thankful to have this blueprint for future buildings and civil infrastructure all over the country. We don't often consider the carbon footprint and the broader impacts of our buildings and infrastructure, especially long after they've been built. We now have a better understanding of these impacts than ever before, and projects like the Anderson Ball Classroom Building use techniques and materials that prioritize sustainability, ensuring that as a profession, we are always looking beyond ourselves and safeguarding our communities for the future. As Kevin said, the purpose of this roadshow is to showcase to younger audiences what is possible in the fields of civil engineering and public works. And I hope those watching today can see and appreciate the kinds of innovative work we are privileged to be a part of. Unlike many professions, no one day and no one project for us is the same, and we are constantly asked to ambitiously pursue the next great idea that will leave lasting impacts, including the Anderson Ball Classroom that we're in today. Please consider joining us and becoming part of many solutions to significant challenges. You won't regret it. Again, I thank you all for having me, and congratulations on this resounding victory for sustainable infrastructure. I'd now like to welcome Monica Silver to the stage, who serves on the ASCE Texas Board of Directors. The floor is yours.
Hi, my name is Monica Silver. I'm a professional engineer, the president of a local engineering firm, serve on the board of ACEC Texas, which was mentioned, and I'm honored to join you today on behalf of the American Council of Engineering Companies of Texas, alongside of APWA and ASCE. Standing here in this largest mass timber structure, institutional building, we see not just beams and panels, but what we see is a statement of the vision of what the future of sustainable and forward-thinking engineering can achieve. So at ACEC Texas, we represent proudly the firms and individuals that design the future of America. Just like this building that we are in today, it's a testament of the essential value that engineers bring to society. We don't just design for today, we design for generations to come. The Anderson Ball Classroom Building, it's a powerful example of that commitment. Mass timber is a renewable material that not only reduces the carbon footprint of construction, but obviously just brings warm and beautiful places that inspire learning and collaboration. Choosing mass timber is not just an aesthetic decision, it's a statement about the future that we want to build, a future that embraces innovation, sustainability, and resiliency. So I'd like to take a moment to recognize Walter P. Moore for their outstanding work in the design of this building. Their vision and creativity and engineering excellence is a testament of what can be achieved as we redefine the future. They didn't just deliver a structure, they delivered a symbol when sustainability and ingenuity work hand in hand. And a serendipity of today, this award to Walter P. Moore is extra special to me. The Walter P. Moore is a member of ACEC Texas, and Doug and I both have served on the board in our local organization. I also want to recognize the administration of the San Jacinto College for their vision in embracing mass timber for this building. As engineers, we are problem solvers and stewards. We hold the profound responsibility of designing infrastructure that lifts up communities, protects the environment, and moves society forward. Whether using advanced materials like mass timber or integrating other cutting-edge technology, engineers are leading the way toward a more sustainable and prosperous future. This building and the people learning and working in it, it's proof that we build what matters, and how we build it matters even more. So again, thank you to San Jacinto College for your leadership, to Walter P. Moore for your inspiring work, and all of you that believe, as we do, that engineering is not just about structures, it's about service to people, progress, and the future. Thank you.
I'm a little bit shorter, so give me a moment here. So thank you all for being here this morning. I am Christina Ramirez, and I have the privilege of being here today as the American Public Works Association Region 7 Director, representing the states of Arizona, Oklahoma, New Mexico, and Texas. As the city engineer for the city of Harker Heights, Texas, this mass timber project here at San Jacinto College is one that I am comfortable pointing to as an example of ingenuity and action. The infrastructure elements included in this project, such as gray water recycling, solar energy, and tubular daylighting, are all technologies that were designed and constructed by public works professionals to improve our communities, and in this case, the place where people gather, not only to advance themselves, but our profession. The mass timber construction of this building is truly a model for sustainable construction practices and future public infrastructure projects. As mentioned previously, today is the 19th time the Roadshow has showcased great infrastructure projects in America, and the Anderson Ball Classroom building is definitely a marvel to be shared. During each stop of the Roadshow, we have featured the impacts of engineering, technology, and workforce. San Jacinto College is the perfect place to re-emphasize the need for a new workforce in the public works profession. The others here today have highlighted the fact that our industry needs more engineers. While this is true, maybe engineering doesn't quite interest you. Don't worry, the public works profession has career opportunities that are in high demand. If you like technology or gaming, consider becoming an equipment operator, a traffic signal technician, a GIS analyst, or a computer drafter. If you like working with your hands, consider becoming a water or wastewater operator, stormwater technician, or public fleet mechanic. And if you work well under pressure, consider becoming an emergency manager, planner, inspector, or cybersecurity specialist. I know that last one is definitely offered here at San Jacinto College. At APWA, we like to say public works advances the quality of life for all. The Anderson Ball Classroom building does this for San Jacinto College and Pasadena, Texas. Our Roadshow message at this stop is we need you. Current students, future students, former students, those looking to make a change in their career, or even those exiting the military. Now is the time to start your path on being part of the next innovative and sustainable public works project. Join us and make a difference in your community every day. Not only will you get to be part of designing, building, and maintaining something tangible, one day you will point to it with pride and be able to say, I was part of the team that made all this possible. Thank you for this opportunity. And at this time, I will turn the program back over to Mr. Longley.
Yeah, I love that message. There really is a role for everybody, no matter your interest in this profession. I'm someone that is terrible with STEM, and yet you can still find some sort of way to communicate and get things across. And so, really appreciate that message. And thank you to Christina, Monica, and Adam for sharing your perspectives from each of your organizations. So now I'd like to invite our generous host of today's event, Dr. Brenda Hellier. Many of you might already be aware is the chancellor here at San Jacinto College. And there's no one better that can really put into perspective the impact of a building like this on the student body and what went into it better than you. So the floor is yours.
Well, welcome everyone. We're truly delighted you're here, and we're so appreciative of this recognition. This building is not like any others in the region, and I bet there's not too many around the country that are like that. So this facility was funded by our voters who in 2015 approved a bond. And this was one of the projects that was part of that bond because they knew how important it was for the college to continue to make sure we were meeting the needs of our students. We have been around 63 years. Our students and their expectations have changed significantly during that time. And so this building and all the buildings we've been building in our programs have been really about how do we meet the students' needs. But even more importantly, our philosophy as a college around construction, sustainability, that innovation have changed also. And so this facility is one of those that clearly demonstrates how those changes have happened. At the time this facility was built, it was the largest mass timber instructional building at any college in the United States. And we built this from timber in order to protect our budget from what we thought at that time was going to be record volatility in steel prices. The timber gave us the predictability we needed to maximize our spend, and it allowed us to make sure that we were keeping our project on target, and also allowed for incredible space for the faculty and for our students, but then also kept some important history components of this facility. So our vision with this project was one of 10 institutions nationwide to be awarded a $100,000 demonstration grant from the U.S. Department of Agricultural Forest Service. And a lot of times what we do at San Jacinto College, we're the only community college at the table on projects, and that's exactly what happened with this grant. We were the only community college on the list that was awarded. And the other participants were all research universities. So this final building is 122,000 square feet. There's 55 classrooms, a robotics lab, 2 seminar rooms. There are faculty and staff offices, and then a lot of student collaboration spaces. And that has been a key component of our construction. And it demonstrates our commitment to sustainability. And I'm going to give you a few examples. There's nearly 1,000 solar panels on the roof that are helping to reduce utility costs. There's the electrochromic windows, which are windows that tint themselves and in response to the increased temperatures. And so you can see the big windows in this lobby. They can be clear, and then they will go to, they'll darken up as needed. There was a reference earlier to the gray water recycling, and that is drainage from our sinks, our water fountains, and our air conditioning. They go into a separate collection point, and they are the first makeup water source for our cooling towers, and that helps also be supplemented by the rainwater. Another really cool thing was we built on the existing foundations of the other 2 buildings, and that helped to reduce both time and cost. And the prefabricated timber modules went up a lot faster than steel. And this mural behind me was actually on the outside of one of the buildings that was taken down, and it was cleaned up and installed here. And what a great way to preserve history. And also, as you walk through the building, there are pictures along the wall to explain the construction and the different components of the facility as it was going up. There were several partners that were really critical for this project. Telepson was our general contractor, Kirksey Architects, Walter P. Moore, our engineering from the instructional standpoint, and then DBR, which was our MEP, and then also facility programming. And facility programming was actually very critical. That group helped. Terry Phillips was our lead on that, working with our faculty and our staff of what did we really need to have in this facility. And then finally, I get to be up here talking about the cool things and accepting the award. But I need to really give a recognition to Chuck Smith, our Associate Vice Chancellor for Fiscal Initiatives and Capital Projects. This was Chuck's vision. Chuck came to his leadership, he came to the board, he came to me with how we could take on a project like this. And it was Chuck who really had the vision of where this could be and really saw it to fruition. And so, Chuck, I want you to stand and let us give you a round of applause. Chuck is the one who works with all the contractors, puts the vision into really making sure it happens, meeting with the faculty and the staff, meeting with the provost here at this campus, Van Wigington, and then just making sure how this moves forward and doing regular presentations to our Board of Trustees at their building committee meetings. And so it's great to have somebody with a vision like that that can make it all happen. And I know he's worked with all the contractors also, and he kept us on budget, right? That was the big thing too. So on budget and on time, those are always how our projects, we keep our projects moving forward. I just want to thank everybody for being here today. I thank you for this roadshow. The comments about workforce are so absolutely critical. And I can tell you, as a community college, our focus is around making sure we meet the workforce needs. And you talked about cybersecurity, construction management, electrical, the trades. We can go through the list. But for young people, for people who are looking at another career, at our veterans, look at your local community college, look at San Jac, because there are tremendous opportunities to meet these workforce needs and great careers for the future. And again, I just want to thank you all for being here today. Make sure you take the tour, talk to Chuck, and he can give you a whole lot more details, and we're truly honored. Okay.
Great remarks.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right.
Well, thank you, Dr. Hellier. Just hit the message right on the nose, which is that really there is something for everybody, and there's so many different communities, as well as communities like San Jac, as you mentioned, that can really foster that growth. So thank you. And now to our final speaker, to another very, very key component to bringing this building to fruition. We have Aaron Keat, principal at Walter P. Moore, who was already showing me some really, really cool components of this building. I think you'll be really interested to hear how this all came together. So Aaron, I will turn it over to you.
On behalf of the structural engineering team at Walter P. Moore, I just want to say it was an honor to be part of such a milestone mass timber project, the San Jacinto Anderson Ball Classroom Building. We are proud to have contributed to a mass timber building that is not only award-winning, but meaningful to the students, staff, and the community it serves. I would also like to give a special mention to our project partners, San Jacinto College, Kirksey Architects as the lead design firm, Telepson as the general contractor, Nordic for the mass timber supplier. It was a true team effort, and each of you played a vital role in the San Jacinto Anderson Ball Classroom. We are all here in this beautiful building to celebrate the impact the infrastructure has made in our lives. The Anderson Ball Classroom Building has become a teaching tool and a community showcase, highlighting the mass timber design that has excelled at challenging the expectations of modern design and construction. When it opened in 2021, this three-story building became the largest instructional building in the U.S. made from mass timber. While we used mass timber as the primary structural frame, along with a hybrid bracing system of exposed timber bracing and concealed steel diagonal bracing. The design team selected mass timber as the primary structural material instead of a more conventional steel or concrete frame to accelerate the project schedule and to contribute to San Jacinto College's sustainability agenda. As public interest in environmental responsibility in our built environment has grown, advocating for mass timber to lower emissions and resource use has spread. On following best practices, mass timber can become a carbon sink and produce significantly less embodied carbon than other more traditional building materials. While simply building out of timber will not alone solve a building's contributions to the climate crisis, the design team implemented a comprehensive strategy for this building to reduce overall carbon emissions and resource use, including reusing existing foundations, maximizing cement use, and optimizing material selection. Other sustainable design features include a gray water collection system that ties in to the College Central Plan to offset makeup water requirements and 30,000 square feet of roof-supported photovoltaic and electrochromatic glazing to help control glare and heat gains. Once the design was underway, the architectural and structural team took part in mass timber supplier interviews and inquired about schedule, reliability, aesthetics, and sustainability. Proper forest management was highlighted during this process, as controlling the source and manufacturing of mass timber products reduces schedule and supply chain risk and allows companies such as Nordic Structure to supply the public with detailed information about carbon emissions and other measures of air and water pollution. For this product, rail was selected as a reliable and lower carbon, compared to trucking, method of transporting the mass timber to this site. As design professionals, we know that you cannot quantify environmental savings until we learn how to measure them. Walter P. Moore completed a life cycle assessment of the building structure to help understand where the embodied carbon was in the building materials, to help quantify the environmental savings from optimizations applied to the timber design. Specifically, reusing the existing foundations, using lower carbon concrete, where we had new concrete, and rail rather than trucks to ship the panels. A lower environmental footprint is only one of the reasons this building continues as a showcase since it has been built. I've designed many buildings in my extensive career, but this one will always have a place in my heart. When I visited the site during construction, I felt happiness as I watched them crane mass timber columns or mass timber panels about 60 feet long into place. It reminded me of building with wood blocks as a child when I first learned about structural stability and the joy of building with simple materials to create structures and cities to enjoy. I hope this building helps others learn about those simple pleasures and learning about the built environment and encourages them to be part of our industry. As we stand in this lobby, we can enjoy the double height volume glazing, the slender double column glulam columns and wind girts, the connecting walkway suspended by steel rods, and the mass timber monumental stairs, and the elevated cantilever balcony overlooking the space. It's a visually stunning space achieved with exposed structure engineered to resist hurricane-level wind forces. This functional area serves as a learning platform for students, future designers, engineers, and other influencers on public infrastructure. I also want to encourage anyone to go to mass tours, as the Chancellor is absolutely correct. There's a lot of great learning material situated around this building. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. Yeah, this really is, the more you learn about it, there's just so many different layers. Every time I take a gander down a different hallway, I learn something new about this building. So it's really cool. This is great that you have this on campus. You're very lucky to have it. And so I just want to thank all of our speakers for your comments today, both on this project as well as the workforce issues that we face and how projects like this really can help curb some of those issues. This is a great place to learn. It's a great place to become part of the profession. So many thanks to you all. I see that the sun heard my comments earlier and would not be shown out. So so now we've really got a perfect day upon us. So for anyone interested in anything that's going on with the Roadshow, we do have a website that I would encourage you all to go to. It's infrastructureroadshow.org. We have all of our past events there. You can see the live stream of this event, as well as pictures and our press release, and you can see the same for all 18 other events that we have going on. I'll also note that next week is Infrastructure Week, so be on the lookout for all infrastructure-related themes that'll be going on. I'm sure sustainability will be a very key topic at some of the events that are going on around the country to highlight the needs of the built environment, workforce being a core tenet of that. So before we head out, I would invite all of our speakers to also grab your plaques, to stand maybe right here, and we will take a group photo. But for everyone that is here, I really appreciate you all coming. Feel free to hang out and mingle, and definitely, if you haven't yet, take the time to take a tour of this building. It's really, really impressive, and you will keep uncovering new components of it. So thank you all.